Hello guys, and I'm back today with skill guide number 2 of 27, and today the skill is range. You guys really seem to enjoy the last one, so hopefully you'll find this guide useful as well. So let's start off like before with armour. So range armours actually only require defence levels to equip. I didn't know this until making this guide, because the last time I wore lower tier armours was in like old school RS, where you do need the range level, so that's something you may not have known. But armours are now on screen in the order you should use them. It's pretty straightforward up to 70 where your options open up, and it starts to get a bit expensive. If you're very short on cash, you could stick with Royal Dragonhide for a bit longer before upgrading to a better armour. So on screen now, the armours in green are non-degradable, orange are degradable, and red degrades to dust. At 70 you should buy Armadil as soon as you can afford it. Armadil is great compared to the higher tier armours as it's actually relatively cheap and is a power armour, so offers you additional DPS and therefore more XP. And it's used by many all the way up to 99. It's okay for bossing, although there are better options out there, but it is perfect for Slayer and other mid-level PvM encounters. At level 80 is the best non-degradable armour in the game, which is the Animal Core of Zamorak. This is what I currently use for Slayer, although it does cost significantly more than Armadil. The rest of the armours are degradable and I really only use for bossing. I could talk about this for hours, but it's probably best you just have a look at yourself at the prices, how much they cost per hour to use, to see whether you find it personally worth it or not, as everyone's got different bank values. On to weapons now, everyone's favourite part of their setup I think. From levels 1 to 30 you could upgrade from the charge bow to oak and willow bows, but if you use the method in the guide you won't need to, as you'll be one-hitting the monsters we're killing. 1 to 75 again, pretty standard. At 60 I'd recommend leaving crossbows for a bit and switching to salamanders, unless you have the money for dragon crossbows because they're insanely expensive. And you can also use a black salamander up to level 80 if you can't afford the Armadil crossbows. At 80 a really popular option is a royal crossbow, as it only costs 350k to make and is really good. Although the downside is it does have a few requirements. These are 70 smithing, 60 summoning, completion of a quest, a song from the depths, and to get to the final phase of the QBD fight. Although that sounds very daunting, it really isn't, and if you can get it I definitely recommend using it. At 80 you can also use chaotics if you've got the dungeoneering points available, and then definitely move up to shadow glaives at 85 if you can afford them, especially if you're doing any high level combat, because the tier 90 accuracy makes a massive difference. Then obviously when you can afford them, move on to the tier 90s. Familiars are key to training combat. For example, monsters you struggle for health wise, you can have familiars bring extra food or just heal you right there and then. And at monsters where you want to increase your DPS, there's familiars for that as well. Beast of Burden familiars carry extra items for you. The Terror Bird is unlocked at level 52 summoning and can carry 12 extra items. Next, and probably the one you'll use the most, is a War Tortoise. It's unlocked at 67 and carries 18 extra items. And at level 96 you unlock the Pack Yak, carrying an extra 30 items, but you won't be using this until much later on. On to healing. The Bunyip is unlocked at level 68 and heals 2% of a player's maximum life points every 15 seconds. At 8k life points this equates to 14 sharks healed over 44 minutes. At level 88 the Unicorn Stallion is unlocked, which can cure a player of poison and has a special move to heal 10% of the player's life points for a cost of 20 special move points and 10% adrenaline. On to TPS familiars, and the two best options are Nihils and Steel Titans. At 87 you unlock Nihils. They add 5% accuracy to a specific combat style. Blood equals attack, shadow equals ranged, and smoke equals magic. And finally at 99 you unlock the Steel Titan, which is best used for monsters you have no trouble hitting. On to the second to last section before we get into the methods is ability bars and rotations. I'll link the RuneScape wiki, which has great revolution bars for beginners just to get you started. But if you want to learn more about optimum DPS rotations, I highly recommend checking out the Junesong's guides on them, so he does a good job explaining how DPS works in RuneScape. Finally, before we get onto the methods, I wanted to add some useful items and skills. 96 Herblore is a huge bonus as it unlocks overloads. They're great as not only do they have the highest potion boost, but your stats don't slowly drop as with the other potions, they stay at the max boost till your potion runs out. You can boost your Herblore from 92 using Spicy Shoes, but an easier way to do it is at 94 Herblore use a God Banner to boost Herblore by 2 levels for 30 minutes. Next we have Curses, a really valuable prayer set to obtain. At 92 prayer you unlock Soul Split, which heals the player 10% of the damage dealt, and at 95 you unlock Turmoil, which offers many boosts, and coupling this with Overload will drastically improve your DPS. And finally, on screen now are some useful items if you're looking into being super efficient while leveling. Just have a search through them on the wiki and what these items do, as it would take way too long for me to explain them all. From levels 1 to 30 or 40 if you want to stay here a little bit longer, you'll be killing trolls in the Berthope cave. To get there, teleport to the Berthope lodestone and run north past the bank into the cave. As you level up, you'll end up killing the trolls faster and having to wait for them to respawn. So when this happens, run to the other room and continue killing them for the fastest XP rates. From 30 to 50, baby blue dragons are the best choice. To get here, teleport to the Taverley lodestone and run south downstairs. If you have 70 agility, take the immediate right through the hole in the wall and you're there already. If not, make sure you have a dusty key on you and follow me on screen. Other options at this level are green dragons and banshees. However, they all give very similar XP rates, but the baby blue dragons hit a lot less. Their max melee hit is 128 compared to the green dragons 732. They're also less accurate as well, which makes them the best monster to train on at this level by far. From 50 to 70 you can stay where you are and kill the normal blue dragons instead. Just make sure you protect from the dragonfire breath, as it hits very hard without protection from it. You could also go to lesser demons on Karamja for very similar XP rates. However, if you have 45 Slayer, infernal mages are the place to be. They are located in the Slayer tower northwest of Canopus, which means you can take out contracts to kill them from a guy in front of the tower. I was averaging around 100k XP per hour here, which is equal to around 540 kills, and the contracts give 8661 XP for every 170 kills, meaning you can get an additional 20 to 30k per hour from the contracts. And although I was 99 range, I was also using tier 40 armour, tier 40 bolts and a tier 50 weapon, so once you get to all tier 60 gear you shouldn't be too far off this XP rate. Infernal mages hit a max of 208, which isn't much, but they are fairly accurate, so if you are getting hit a lot, pray protect from mage and the damage will be halved. I personally found that from 50 to 70 seems to actually be the most boring part of the training, and although it's a lot shorter from the grind from 70 to 99, feels like it takes an eternity, so just get through the levels and it gets better from level 70 in my opinion. So the fastest way to 99 from here, but I also believe the most expensive, is chinning. On screen now are links to two guides by Purette PPC. The one on the left is the Abyss, which can earn you up to 660k combat XP per hour, and the one on the right is using mechanized chimchompers on abyssal demons, which can get you up to 950k per hour, but obviously requires 85 Slayer to kill the demons. The Abyss method is a huge money thing, but you can actually make a profit at the ambush demons, although these are due nerf very soon, probably before the release of 120 Slayer, so be sure to check this method still works. If you can't afford chins, from 70 to 85 you should be killing Aviancies. To access these you need to have completed the Troll Stronghold quest and have 60 agility or strength. I'd recommend getting Edgar's Ruse quest as done, as you'll be able to teleport to Trollheim, which is where I'm running from on screen, then run into the Armadillo area once you get into the God Wars dungeon. A very useful item to bring would be the Shara of Zaros, a piece of Armadillo armor or a piece of Nex armor, so that none of the Armadillo monsters are aggressive, and I'd recommend doing this until 85. At 85 you should move to Water Fiends. You could also try this method at 80 range depending on your other combat levels and the gear you're using, so I know a lot of people around this level struggle to survive for very long here and end up going through a full inventory of food extremely quickly. The setup I was using was full Armadillo armor and a tier 80 bow with a bunyip, no aura, 99 combat stats, and I hardly ever had to eat. So from 85 with stat boosting potions you should be fine, especially if you're using a Vampirism aura. These were amazing XP and well known for their Crimson Charm drops, so Charmian's definitely worth getting before coming here. Dark Beasts are a little more AFK, which is why I decided to include them as well. However, I've included them second to last due to the fact they have a high Slayer requirement of 90 and the fact you need Morning's End Part 2 started as well, which a lot of people don't have. However, if you do have these, you can expect very good XP rates and a decent GP per hour, and increased XP rates but less money per hour if you use a cannon there. They're located in the Mourner tunnels, which you need the new key for and full Mourner gear to access if you haven't already completed Plague's End. And when you get here, simply protect from magic, as they deal extremely low damage while the prayer is active. And the final monster on this list is a boss, and it's Kriara. So I'd recommend getting Overloads and 95 prayer for Kriara, as although it can be done fairly easily without these, you'll get much easier kills and way faster kills with these unlocked. Kree is located in the same area as the Aviancies, and you need to get 40 kills on Armadillo followers to enter the boss room, and I'd recommend creating the instance on the fastest setting for the fastest XP. And it's a very simple boss, you virtually just sit in the corner with Soul Split on and DPS as much as you can. And this is a pretty profitable way to 99 as well, and it's a way I did it because I actually enjoy doing these rather than water fiends or dark beasts. So I hope you enjoyed the guide. Subscribe for more of them. I've got a melee one out already, and I'm going to be working on a magic one next. Thanks very much guys, see you later.